Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing today? That's good. Welcome to the Social Flex. Tonight we are hosting you live from Valleys in Duquesne. Tonight's episode is love and what it means to you. So we will be discussing all things love. I am one of your hosts, Carlisa Turner. I am 41 years of age. I am currently widowed. I am open to dating. I'm not dating, but I'm open. And that's enough about me.
I'm also one of your Social Flex hosts and guests, Sierra Tompkins. I am 42 and single and living. Mind your business, and we'll come over this house here, okay? Before we get started, I'd like to thank, of course, Zeke, my brother. I love you. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be in this space and your time. Or supporting Miss Stacy, of course. our camera people, Miss Kelly and
Uncle Bruce.
Uncle Bruce.
And my
Thank you very much.
cousin, cause she's so cute.
And all of our vendors, if you have not had a chance to go through Vendors Row, stop over. There is some pretty nice things over there in Vendors Row. So make sure you check that out. Do you wanna hop into it? Oh,
Yes, thank you.
my brother, Mr. Sean. My brother Sean. Thank you so much.
Can't do it. And of course, the Social Flex would never be the Social Flex
Without our guy.
without Mr. Cordos.
And then we also have to thank our master of ceremonies for tonight, Mr. Robert.
Mike Stone.
Mr. Robert. So we were actually given this topic by Deke one day. We came in here and we were sitting and we were just brainstorming. He was like, it'd be real dope if y'all did one on love. So me and her was like, I don't know. Well. So we decided to do love and what it means to you. And when we talk about love, there's so many different caveats with it, and it means so many different things to so many different people. Before we go any further, I'd like to open up the crowd. Would anybody like to speak on what love means to them? Because this is all about, you guys and having an open forum and being able to speak freely on what it means to you.
Guy in the corner.
All right, Mr. Dion.
Well, love to me is true, unconditional love. Really loving somebody no matter what that person goes through, no matter the ups, no matter the downs, no matter what society says. That to me is like the true thing I love. But I didn't realize that till the second time I got married. So I had to figure that out. So, because a lot of times people think about love, and I realize in my own personal opinion, it's more transactional than it is actually unconditional. So, true unconditional love is what I believe love is.
Okay. Anyone else want to speak on what love means to them?
Nobody else.
We got a shy crowd tonight.
Don't be shy. Come on, what is love?
We got a shy crowd tonight. So, let me get into my notes
I was
here.
gonna say something like that.
All right,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
As far as love to me, love is me not having to question myself. That I'm okay. Because I love.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Great answer.
So, when you say a love within yourself, is that love within yourself different than a love you would show to someone else?
No, that's not love within myself. That's love within my relationship.
Okay.
I'm loved, so I'm good.
So when we speak love, is there any requirements for love? Like, does anyone have any requirements on what they consider love? Does it come with respect or a commitment or a trust factor? This is truly like, what is love to you as an individual person?
You got some love in the corner. Here we go.
I'm gonna say as a woman, I believe that love consists of honesty, protection, safety. When you cannot trust your partner, you cannot love your partner, you can't respect them. And that's just a woman's perspective.
But the asking gangster is the dollar GANSTER.
So the next caveat or question I want to get into is there a difference between loving something and being in love with something?
For sure.
Hell yes.
So let's speak on it. Everybody like, yeah.
Everybody nervous. This is my guy right here.
Alright, so as I said earlier, the first time I was in love, the first time I was married, I wasn't in love. I was in love with the idea of being married. So I was young and I was like, let's do it. We've been together so long. So let's just go. And emotionally, I wasn't there. So I wasn't really in love. I just kind of loved the idea of being married. But the second time I got married, there's no mountain, there's no situation, there's no person that can come in between us because I'm actually in love to the soul. So I feel it differently the second time I came around. So that's how I feel about it.
He got all the answers. I mean,
So wait a minute, Mr. Dior, so do you feel like there was some growth in your love between the first time and the second time? Was there some growth within?
Major growth. I mean, between trials, tribulations, I'm gonna be honest, my second wife actually elevated me mentally. Had me see things differently than I seen it before. And there's nothing against my first wife, but she's amazing, got 3 kids, she's amazing, we just wasn't compatible. But my current wife elevated me mentally. She made me think things differently in a different mindset. She made me believe more into myself. She poured into me, so it was a definitely different energy that I was getting. So yeah.
So when we look at the dictionaries, we're not doing that?
Slide past that.
right, so that's why.
Well, I mean, your ass.
I don't want to get too deep on
You
it.
get this. You want everybody else to do it? Me, by example. What love mean to you?
Can I?
No, absolutely not.
I didn't even finish it, but I'll give you some examples as to what love means to me.
You had to write it down?
Oh, I did. Well, my example is the lust of somebody, luring them, having laughter. It is. It's literally.
You want to know about what's in your head.
That is what's in my head. The lust of someone, the being in their space, their laughter, observing, being able to have consent, getting that in return, trust factor. But for me, ideally, love is fun. Like, I don't like tough love. Like, I don't like when it's combative. Like, that's not love to me.
Is your love conditional?
I would say yes, because it does depend on the person.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm not just gonna fall in love with anything or anyone. Like,
That's my question. That wasn't my
yeah, there's many forms. Like the way that I love my brother, I'm not gonna be in love with my man. The way that I love my brother. Or like,
That wasn't my question.
what's your question, goddamn?
Right here.
What love means to me, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So I
Thank you.
I got you.
Thank you.
No, but I think love is something that I continue to learn about. I know what it feels like, but it's one of those things I really even can't even say exactly what it is. I just know I want to continue to do it. So with my wife, I know it was, I know what it felt like, because she loved me more than I loved myself, even when I was at my worst. She loved me like I was at my best. You know what I'm saying? So that continued to make me want to feel this thing. So I'll do whatever it takes to make that happen.
That's right. All right. All right.
Great answer.
Great answer. Great answer. So what happened? That was still out. Hey, Corey, can you check me out over there? Thank you. Yeah.
That's love mean to me?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for putting her on the top. I appreciate y'all.
My love for me is unconditional. There's nothing, if I'm in love with you, there is nothing that I won't do for you. There's nothing I won't try my damnedest to withstand for you. There's nothing I won't go through with you. You know what I mean? If we're in it together, we're fighting together, I'm not gonna put a limit on my love like, well, if you do this, no. Let's do it. Let's figure out how to do it. Let's get through it. We're gonna stumble, we're gonna fall, we're gonna make mistakes sometimes. But let's figure out how we can get through it, get past it, get over it, and move on to something bigger and better and different. And like, that's what love is for me.
So also, I just want to say that we have to realize also that what we accepted as love may not be what we want to accept. like how Carlisa may love, her partner may not know what that love is. So everybody loves differently, everybody accepts love differently, and I could try my damnedest to put out what I feel is love to you as a person, and you might be like, man, this motherfucker don't love me, like this.
Well, that goes back to what he said about.
Yeah.
Communication, though.
They wasn't compatible.
Right, well,
Sometimes you be in love but still not be compatible.
so, there's also a difference between caring for someone and loving them. There's a difference between someone caring about someone and loving them. So, and this comes from a situation with my ex. Whenever we were like at one of our worst parts, he was like, don't act like I didn't ever care about you. I never said you didn't care about me, because care goes a long way. But you're not in love with me, or you don't love me. So to me, that's something that holds a relationship or something like that together, is actually being in love. Like, I could care for you all I want. That doesn't mean, like Dion said, we're compatible enough to be in love and be in a relationship.
So my question to you here is, what was your requirement to feel as if you were loved by your partner?
I don't have no requirements. Like, I mean, I'll love you to the death. It's just, are you able to receive my love? I don't.
I'm saying that you're saying that person didn't love you.
I can't say that. He said he cared about me. He didn't say he loved me. So there, to me, that was the difference. Like, yeah, you could care, but you're not saying that you love me as a person, or you're in love with me as being in a relationship. You're saying that you care, and I accept that. I'll accept care from anyone.
Right. Okay. So for me, I think love is an action. You can't say you love someone and you can't show up for them.
It's definitely
You can't put in that effort and sacrifice that it takes to show love. And that's not just romantic love, that's any relationship. If someone tells you that I ain't like the way you did that, and if you love them, then you're going to change that action, that behavior, to show them that, hey, I care about you and I care about our relationship, so I'm gonna make an effort to change that behavior so you can feel more comfortable and more safe in my presence. And I also feel as if when you're in love with someone, there is a peace that they give you, that you will change your behaviors. I've only experienced that one time in my life for somebody that showed love in a way where I was willing to kind of taper my toxic behaviors. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. And it worked. It worked. But that was my growth, and that was my period of development. So.
Good answer.
So I in these situations that I find myself in, I had someone test me, and the test was to write a love letter to yourself. Write yourself a love letter. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be easy. I still ain't finished it. It's so much easier to give someone else their accolades or tell somebody what you see in them and how much you're in love with them. But when it comes to yourself, it's like, what do you really love about yourself? And I was like, well, I'm a good mom. I do some things good. And that was it. It was like, so like, yes, I do love myself. Yes, I'm finding out who I am as a person. But that was a challenge for me. And I challenge everyone else to do that. If you have the time and the space and the capacity, write yourself a love letter. Figure out how you love yourself. Because that might change how you love someone else, or how you're in love with someone else.
Did you have another topic?
Oh, I did. You shut me down. You was like, nope, say what you
You
said.
can't just be throwing it out there and not insert yourself. Sorry. I'm sorry.
But I was actually, because when I do these things, I like to look at definitions of things and of that nature. But the definition of love is an intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure in something. And it says again, feeling deep affection, like or enjoying very much. So with that, it's like, everybody doesn't consider affection the same. So, again, it's opinionated. Like, this topic is a very opinionated topic. Like how I feel affection for my kids, I don't feel affection for my siblings, per se. So
She said she don't love y'all like she love her kids.
I heard it.
That's what she said.
I mean, I'm sorry if it hurt y'all feelings, but I love y'all, but not like I love my kid. Like I'll actually die for my kids. I can't say I'm gonna die for one of my siblings.
That's all for you.
That's a damn shame. That's a shame.
I love y'all to death,
My sister.
but I don't know if I would die for y'all.
Hey, I was sugar raised. I'm glad you ain't my sister. I'm
But I am a sister. Oh, you gonna die for your siblings?
Hands down, right now. My siblings, my parents, my kids.
I'll die for my parents.
I probably would too, I ain't gonna lie.
They're all it's in here. Other people that I'm not mad for.
But what I mean by that is like if I had to choose between one of my siblings or my kid.
Don't try to change it. That's
No, that's what I'm.
No.
What happened?
That would never be an effect between your siblings and your kids.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if I had to choose between my sibling and my kid, I'm choosing my kid.
They would choose your kid for.
Exactly.
You said that way.
If your sister,
It was between
what is that?
Dixie, you going down.
That could have choose their kids. What?
You been a little hungry, you alright?
Yeah.
My man right here in the white got something for him.
No, I got a question. So, we talking about love and everything. Now, say you was in love, because you said you're single and everything, and say you had somebody you was deeply in love with. Would you die for him? Would you leave your kid or you wouldn't die? Nobody about. Would you die for him?
I mean, it depends on the circumstances. Like I can't say that because I've never been in that predicament. I
You
speak
had to
on.
jump over the gun and see if you were him.
But why would we be in that situation? Like that's what I'm saying. This nigga ain't Batman. I need something realistic.
You go back?
Okay, I mean, good for
Yeah,
you.
something like that.
Oh, that's what's up.
It's not just because I love my girl, it's just because I'm mad. I'm going to jump in front of my girl.
I just want to know the reciprocate.
Look, you gonna put her on the spot. She don't want that drama. You about to put her on. She don't want that. She don't want no part to that. That's what I'm saying. Like, why is we in this situation? We can't talk our way out of this? Like, what is we doing? I'm hopeful.
I mean, life happens. Shit happens all the time. You be walking on the street, minding your business, somebody else having a bad day, and it just made your bad day, and now a split decision have to be made.
That's why
That's life. Like, that's just
play outside.
period. That's the world we live in. It happens. So, but if it was me, when I was married, yeah, hell yeah. Without a second thought, we've been tussling over who was gonna die first. Like you sit down, listen to me, don't listen to me.
So does that mean that you don't love yourself?
Does that mean I don't love myself? I love the hell out of me.
All right, then distinguish between your love of yourself and your love of your siblings or your love of other people. Distinguish that for me.
Distinguish the love.
So what he's saying is like the
I
question.
heard what he said.
I mean, that's your uncle. I mean,
My comprehension skills are very good.
I'm just saying. I think it's.
I said distinguish the difference between the love of myself and the love of someone else.
So you got to distinguish, okay, let's hear that distinction.
So I love the FUCK out of me, for sure. Hands down, no problem. However, my protection instinct is very high. But that's how I was raised. That is what was instilled in me from birth, you know, one for all, not for one. So, I love me enough to live because I am living, because it could have been curtains. I've been through some shit in the past couple of years. I could not be here. But I love my life enough also to put it on a line for who I care about. That's what I'm saying, that's my answer. I love me enough to love you enough to sacrifice me to save you. Well, not you, I mean, you're not there, I'm sorry. You're not in that group. You're not in that group. Not you, very much. I'm like, please, Mr. Right Man, don't do it. No, there's definitely. It is conditional to us. For the person I'm married to, not a condition in this world. For my children, not a condition in this world. For my parents, not a condition in this world. And they get on my nerves, motherfucker.
Your parents ain't even out there.
Oh, they drive me nuts. But for them, I will, because they've given me everything. My father would have laid his life on the line for me. My father would have laid his life on the line without a second damn thought. So, if he and I are somewhere, and he's lived his life, he lived a good life. I would try to save him for all the times that he has saved me. I give it everything I got to save him. For all he's done to save me, hell yeah.
What I'm trying to get at, I hear a lot of this going on out here about love and what it is and what it ain't. And actually, you can't define it unless you're in it. You can only define the one you're in. You can
Right.
define love for anybody else.
Right.
You define love when you're in it, okay?
Right.
With that individual, whomever it may be, you put that definition. Now, it's a hard question to ask. It's a hard question to ask. And you're never going to get a definitive answer. You shouldn't get a definitive answer.
It's not a blanket answer.
Because they are describing what they consider as love.
Indeed.
The mainly the emotional portion of it. There's more to love than emotion.
Absolutely.
And we continue to define the emotions of love, which you cannot do unless you are in it and who you are defining it for. Okay? So, I hear the question, and it's a good question. Okay, it's a good question, because I like to hear what people say, how people respond to that question. Okay? But I would never define it. I can't define it. I'm gonna tell you the truth, I can't define it. Because I might define it 10 minutes, and then the 10 minutes go by, I define it different because of the situation I'm in. Because of life. Life doesn't continue. It's constantly moving. And love is really going that continue. Okay? Love and every other emotion that you have, love and hate, are basically the same emotion. They're the same emotion. Okay? I'm not going to take it no further than that, but they're the same emotion. Okay? Alright?
Yes, sir.
So
that's why you get a lot of the intermarriage murders and things of that nature.
Oh, definitely a crime of passion, for sure. Passion is a bad Mickey food.
it sure is.
It can be good, it can be bad.
Is that love or is that lack of love?
That's passion.
That's passion, that's lust.
Passion is a different tool
I
altogether.
don't agree with it being love. You don't have to.
It's passion, no, lust has nothing to do with passion. Passion is passion. A crime of passion, an act of passion. Passion has different variables for sure.
Sure.
Passion can be aggressive. Passion can be sensual. Passion can be high. Passion can be low. It depends on what it is.
I do want to touch on something you said about
That should be defined as love.
it can,
Be passionate enough.
passionately
Let me tell you
love.
right
It's
now.
just a thing.
Is it passion?
But I want to speak to your point because when I think about the heart and when I think about love, I think infinite. Infinite. My heart is infinite. My love is infinite. So when we speak about like the love, but I love infinitely. I love a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. And like you said, love is an emotion. So for instance, I love to buy shoes. I love that. I get an endorphin high when I go out and buy a pair of shoes. I love that. That's something that I love.
You love your shoes.
Every last pair.
Who doesn't?
Every last pair. Love them to death. I also love men, but it's a different kind of love than for shoes.
Because if someone comes and grabs your shoes.
Oh no, we going to blows almost.
She gonna die for them shoes. She gonna die for them Nikes, baby. Let me tell you something. You can try it if you want to. She gonna die, darling.
So, Sierra, you were talking earlier about loving yourself. And I guess in my opinion, during the second time we get married, I was too busy trying to chase to do for my spouse instead of doing for myself. So I realized when two people fix themselves, they're better off as a unit. My question is, how do you teach somebody to love themselves?
You can't.
You cannot.
That you cannot. That's something
That is a
within.
journey of self.
That is within, not without.
That is a journey of that is a journey.
And I ask that question because we fought a lot of people for not loving. But as we know, it's a journey, and we don't really ever arrive. Well, at the same time, we hold people at fault because they're still learning what they don't know. So
And that's
that's why.
about a lack of acceptance.
So
You have to accept people where they are, Mr. Dean. No, yeah. Life's a lot easier when you accept the person for who and where they are.
That's your opinion.
So what I've learned is being in a relationship for as long as I was in a relationship for, I didn't really know if I loved myself because I was so busy loving everyone else. Loving on my husband, loving on my kids, loving on whatever's going on. It wasn't until we actually separated that I was like, damn, who am I? Do I love myself? Do I love myself enough to know that I'm worth it? Like, you are enough. And I don't know if a lot of people understand, like when they detach themselves from their mate, like, you're enough. You're enough to be on your own. You're enough to make these everyday decisions. You don't need someone to justify or confirm your thought process.
And the reason why I brought that question up, because as we are in our 40s or 30s or 50s or whatever, things like that wasn't taught to, I say, for me, myself when I was young.
That's true.
But my kids now, between like 13 and 20, I instilled them at a young age that they are enough, so they don't have to worry about being in their 30s to realize that. So though I can't teach them how to love, I can instill them the things that was broken in me, but they can go at a young age, so they don't have to come up in their 40s. So I just realized I'm not 46 now. And I just started loving myself at about 42, 43. So I just realized what that was. So that's why I asked that question, so before I ask somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have those discussions now with our kids. Like, I know for me, I can't speak on anyone else. I've had those discussions with my kids as far as, and I hate to use the word codependency, but you don't need to, like, you got this. Like, you got it. Love yourself. Know your self-worth. Know what's inside of you that you can love. Again, like you said, nobody really had that talk with me to be like, oh, do you ever? I do remember though, one time my sister, when I was a teenager, and I felt love when she asked me this. She asked me, have you ever thought about committing suicide? Because teen suicide was really high at that time. And I was like, wow, like, if she loved me, if she asking me this. So that made me value myself more too. Because it was like somebody actually values me enough to not want to see my demise that way. So
I just wanted to jump back to the acceptance part of things, like accepting people where they're at. It's not really accepting people where they're at, it's meeting them where they're at. And then growing from that point on. So we don't necessarily have to accept them, meet them, and grow from there.
So that's if you're in, so I would agree with you if we're talking about someone that you are in relationship with. So for me, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person I'm in relationship to. It could be a person I conduct business with. It could be a person that I'm in friendship with. It could be a person that I just interact with at random. So for me, life got easier for Carlisa when she came to terms with accepting people for who they are and where they are. We don't have to be on the same plane or plateau or whatever, you know what I mean? If you're into this and I'm not, that's fine.
And
I'm not gonna participate with you, but like you anyway.
And that's kind of where I'm saying we're meeting them where we're at. We don't have to accept them.
No, I accept it, that's you.
But we're
Yeah, I'm good.
meeting them on a level playing field. And we're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm great with it, huh?
Yeah.
That's you, baby. That's you. Love you still. It's not gonna change, you know, my interaction with you in any way. But I have to be accepting of that so that it doesn't alter me in my dealing with you. I used to literally get so consumed with my disdain or dislike or discomfort in someone else's lifestyle or behavior or thought process, the way they spoke, the way they carried themselves and things. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Now it's like, oh, well, that's just Tina. Love her, you know what I mean? And I deal with Tina, how, you know, when I'm with her, that's how it is. And when I move on, I move on. I'm still me at the end of the day. And there was a time in my life where I didn't know how to do that either. I didn't know how to be comfortable with being me in a space that I didn't like. I don't like that you do that. I don't like that you smoke. I don't like that you drink. I don't like that you switch your neck when you talk. You know what I mean? I don't like that you're ghetto. I don't like that you can't turn it off, ever. Like, I don't like that you're constantly like, stay the night. Just because that's not my temperament and my state of being. But the minute I became okay with that, being who you are organically or not, you know what I mean? Then that's fine. Then I have no hiccups or hang-ups when I'm hanging or interacting with you. I'm at peace with our interaction because I'm still me and I'm okay with being who I am. And you no longer have the power to upset or alter how I feel about that. That's why I say, you know, it's about acceptance. If I'm cool with you being low vibrational, then it doesn't bother me that you're low vibrational. I just deal at your vibration I heard you, right?
Yeah, I wanted to talk more about what you were saying about somebody teaching you how to love. I think that is possible. It's just that they willing to learn, you know what I mean? So it's like you could teach somebody
themselves.
Well, I feel like you could definitely teach somebody, but are they willing to take in the information, right? Like I've been kind of taught how to love myself through my situation. You know what I mean? I had somebody kind of just seeing something more in me than I seen in myself. And it brought, until I got there, there was enough patience in there. It was patience. I don't know if that's part of society today, but I think that's important as well. And I feel like you can teach somebody you can show them, but until they're really ready to learn, I feel like you ain't gonna reciprocate what you're trying to show them, or just you know.
I agree with that to a point.
I think it's possible.
I think we, as people, like, for instance, in your situation, you were shown. I don't think it was something that you were taught, you were shown. And like I said, different people show different ways of love in different ways. You were able to accept what you were shown. Now, I could love someone that's the way that I know how to love them, but that doesn't mean that they're going to see that. You actually took a step in and you saw that.
And you had a desire to want to grow in that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, but it wasn't always there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta see it before you can do it, right? Like you gotta, or somebody gotta show you. That's good.
So I do have a question based on this. This is a whole audience question. Do you believe there is a difference between trauma love and pure love? And what does that mean?
Well, I think it's what the guy said, everybody's love is individuality, so it's all in self, how you love. Everybody loves different, but it's all forms of love. There's different forms of love. You can't just define about how you love.
What I'm saying is there such thing as trauma love though? Have you ever been through trauma love?
Trauma love, trauma bond, of course. I mean,
Can you define that? I don't think there's such a thing.
There's trauma bonding.
Trauma love.
trauma love, trauma bond.
The Joker, Harley Quinn.
So,
Mickey and Mallory.
so some people deal with your trauma. So what I mean by trauma love is me saying that I love you, but I'm beating your ass as your mate or your spouse. That creates trauma.
That's not trauma love.
abuse.
That's not trauma.
But it still causes trauma.
But it's not trauma love. That's not trauma love.
It's abuse, but it causes trauma.
But it's not trauma love.
Well,
That's not trauma love.
But that's not opinion.
But it's not trauma love.
That's your
opinion.
It's not my opinion. That's a fact. It's not. That's not what trauma love is.
Well, I can say that for my second wife, she has her own situation going on. So she had to go through her healing journey. So as the young lady already said, she had a little toxicity in her. I was attracted to my second wife because she was real aggressive and real toxic at that time. I ain't gonna lie. It's been honest. My last wife was real laid back and she was like chilling, so I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. But now she has grown and she has healed. So at the time I did like that excitement, I did like that unknown, all that wild, and it was just different, you know. But now as she evolved and healed, I had to take time to learn a new her, to love that version of herself. So when she wasn't in her times of need, when I'm used to helping her when she needs, she'll need that now. She's independent. She does everything she needs by herself. So that drama, when I say trauma, but that drama or that toxicity, I did like it at that time. But I had that conversation a couple of weeks about her. But now she's healed, so I like the version of her now. So.
I think trauma bonding comes down to you experiencing something in life and not properly healing it. And then you meet another person that's done the same thing. And you're kind of feeling off of each other. And being that relationships, like there's no rule book, there's no like, there is rule books, but come on now, everybody's relationship. You know, you kind of make your own relationship. Like, okay, well, based on this toxicity, we still love each other. So we're just gonna few off this toxicity and still live on, but really all you're doing is bringing each other down. So trauma bonding, I just feel like the negativity comes together, the toxicity, like it just mixes together in like some type of like negative harmony.
I got one for you, I gotta sit down. No, this is perfect. You know, we're talking about love. Different types of love, different levels of love. And we need to think, you know, you need to have a foundation and move from that foundation. Now, and I know we've all experienced this. Got newborn babies, okay? You don't have to teach them to love. There's no teaching. You know, there's no one there showing them how to love. But they love, don't they? Newborn. You know, they love. You know why? They weren't taught to hate. They weren't taught to hate. So we need to understand that and use that, you know, when we're coming up with these different theories. You know, you have to be taught to hate. You know, we have been taught to hate through the years. Okay? So it's harder for us. And that's why we have questions about love. We don't have questions about hate, do we? Because we've been taught to hate. And you've got to wash that off. Wash it off and put it where it belongs. Okay? Realize why we were taught to hate. Well, not true. Why they don't know. But there's reasons. There's reasons why were we taught to hate. You know? But love is beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't think we need to define it. I think we need to get into it. We need to define it. Because everybody's definition is going to be just a little different. And when they move through life, that definition is going to change. Just a little different. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. I'm through. I'm going to leave it there. I like conversation. I like different thoughts, different people's thoughts. You know? Love it. You know? Better than, I guess it's better than enough to find an hate.
what you said,
Perfect.
what you said about babies, and, no one ever taught, hey, babies also haven't experienced pain. They haven't experienced disappointment. They haven't haven't experienced as of yet being let down. So these are all things that you go through in life that alter your perspective and your experiences as
That's
it
what he was
pertains
saying
to
about
love.
time 8. That's what he was saying about time 8. These are things you're taught as you go
But that
through
doesn't
life.
necessarily teach you hate.
What he said.
Disappointment is disappointment.
But
That's my point. I'm expounding upon what he said. In addition to being taught hate, babies have also not experienced disappointment. They have not experienced pain. So these are all things that are going to alter your experiences and your perception. Hate aside, you know what I'm saying? Disappointment is going to alter your feelings and your perception.
I'm not going along with that, except for the pain.
Right.
Huh?
I'm going along with that except for the pain thing. Maybe you do experience.
I meant like emotional pain.
Okay.
That's what I meant, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I mean, eventually, some do, right out the gate experience, you know, emotional pain, that, you know, that disconnect, because they never get the bond, you know, with the person who carried them or whatever have you, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying, these are things that babies come to experience later in life, in various stages. So as you grow, those experiences change and alter, and those things ultimately become what alters your perception as it pertains to love and loving.
So you think them experiencing and learning love cuts down on some of the other things that
You have to be experiencing and learning that from someone who has the capacity to show and teach it to you themselves.
Right, however, I'm saying however they experience it.
I mean, but the world, the way that the world is,
Right.
we as certain people can place that love on things as much as we want. But if somebody goes out into the world and they're emotionally pained, or they experience, again, I'm going to use the word trauma, that fuels them. That makes them think that, like, I'm not loved. This isn't what love is. Like, I don't like this feeling.
Or this isn't the love I'm accustomed, you know.
Yeah, accustomed, yeah.
Another Steve?
Absolutely.
Don't you start your mess again.
Robert.
Well, I think what you're trying to say is, if you have to define all those things, the things you said, the pain, all that you go through life, to be able to say you're trying to define love. He said it goes hand in hand. If you're defining hate, you define love. Because it's a yin and a yang. They don't exist. They coexist. They don't exist without each other. So that's basically what he said, is that you're trying to define love. You can't forget. You go through all these things, and why you define love? That's why we're in search of what is love. Because we went through more pain than love. Most of the time when you get to this stage and they look like us.
Pain is free, love costs.
That, well, I mean.
Pain costs too, shit.
Pain is free,
Ain't that my pain?
but love costs.
Man, you lost the sun and the husband. That cost me thousands. Thousands.
So, again, research. Verywellmad.com places love as a set of emotions and behaviors characterized by intimacy, passion, and commitment. So, it's giving those three things as characteristics of love.
You're gonna go for that, huh?
Listen, so I do this because this is something tangible that someone else could go and look at. I can sit up here and say all day, huh?
Does it resonate with you?
So it doesn't resonate with me, but it might resonate with someone else.
Well, that's what I was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Does it resonate with you?
it doesn't. A lot of the things that I read is informational. It doesn't necessarily resonate with me, but because I'm doing this, I have to do research. I have to put it out there for the audience so they can get an opinion on it, however they feel.
Right, but why would you put something out there that doesn't resonate with you?
It doesn't.
Because it's not about her.
It's not about me.
Well, but it is.
It's not. It's about everybody else. It's about everybody in this room.
When it comes to the social flex specifically, there's a lot of topics and things, that we tackle. And BDSM was a whole nother topic for me, but anyway. But there are a lot of topics that we go through that either one of us had no clue about whatsoever. So the research is there because if I don't know, then there's a high probability that someone else in our audience base doesn't know either. And so we thank you, Linda. We share the information as we come across it, right? But also, knowledge is infinite. You're never done learning, right? But also, we come across things that one or either of us don't agree with. There's been several things that have taken place on this podcast, and I was absolutely opposed to, and just wasn't going for it. But that's me and how I feel. She has her and how she feels. Robert comes on often, he has his own feelings. We have an audience base that watch it, and they have their opinions on how they feel. You understand what I'm saying? So the purpose of the Social Flex is to have the conversation and to gauge and learn and to be accepting of the different perspectives. Whether we agree with them or not.
It's to open up the mind, because
we don't have to agree.
Right now, when we look at the climate of everything around us, everybody is so two-dimensional. Me, what I think, what my opinion is. It's to open it up to be like, yeah, that's your opinion, but I got mine, and my opinion might not be right, and your opinion might not be right either. But let's try to come together to have a common ground on those opinions.
It's like assholes, everybody got
Exactly. Exactly.
We don't have to agree.
Agree to disagree. Yes.
It just needs to be a mutual respect.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like, you don't ever have to.
Right.
In a relationship, you don't have to agree. There are certain things. Maybe some people, spiritually, we need to be on one accord. With children, we need to be on one accord. But as long as everybody is respecting everybody and y'all have that mutual love, then we don't have to agree.
But that's what I'm saying, like, so that would be the purpose of our platform specifically, is to be able to have those conversations, you know what I mean, that we all have different opinions about, and be able to have them amicably.
No judgment.
With no judgment, you know what I'm saying, agree when we agree, and agree to disagree when we disagree, right? So, and it happens all the week, like I said, there have been several things that have come up on this podcast. Either one of us was like,
yeah, it's about perspective. Yeah, it's about perspective. And I would say, doing this and like doing it with friends, with family, strangers, you see that a lot of people come from a different world than you. We're not all walking the same path, so I can't be like, no, you're wrong. That's not true. That's your walk. That's your journey. I have to accept your journey and your walk, so that we can be on see things mutually. Just like you gotta accept my walk and my journey. You might not agree with it, but it's my journey. I can't change it. I can only walk it.
But also, it makes you, once you become more open-minded, it opens you up to different experiences. You know what I mean? It could give you, room in your relationship where it might not have been. Like so many times, Mr. Corey has something like, man, I learned so much sitting here watching all this. I never thought of it that way. I didn't think of that. Right? Wow, that's true. I'm so glad we did this because now I can go home or I can go out into the world or into my different relationship and I can handle things just a little bit different. And that has been the beauty of this journey and this process in totality, is the differences of view and opinion and experience overall.
And I mean, as one of the hosts, I've actually, throughout the journey of the podcast, even with season 1, I learned a lot about myself and other people. This has been, it's been a great journey. In really learning other people, learning that we're not so different. A lot of us experience the same things, but different situations. So that was another reason why I did it, was to come around people who may have experienced the same things as me and be able to be like, you're not alone. You could talk about it. You don't gotta hold that in. Like a lot of people don't like to per se go to therapy. This is like a therapy session for real. We just make it fun. So, and again, a lot of the things that I research them from like psychology websites. Like I don't, whether it resonates with me or not, it's educational. So with those three things that I said, psychologists actually call that the triangle of love: intimacy, passion, and commitment. The intimacy, it says this aspect of love causes individuals to feel close to another and involving feelings of warmth and connectiveness. So when you're intimate with someone, and I mean, I can't speak for nobody else to be intimate. I kind of feel close when I feel a certain level of intimacy. I mean, I don't just listen.
Ever.
You know, inside your of love. Try if it's not on Facebook. Try going on YouTube. The Social Flux on YouTube. Okay, cool.
You said, well, tell me to turn my live on.
And that is shown as true friendship, whose main attribute is greater than a sense of intimacy.